All right, everyone, we're on take like 98. Seriously, it's being one of those days. You see a solar panel for a TIE fighter in front of me. I'm working while I'm trying to talk. And the first take, well, did not go as hoped. The second take, I got rambling and said some things I know someone would not appreciate. So, I didn't say anything evil. It's just that when you live around people, you don't say certain things when you know it will upset them. And there was really no purpose to it anyhow. Okay? So, we're going to get back to this. And what I'm doing is I'm making a rant video about rivet counting. And, well, what is rivet counting? Let's start by defining it. Rivet counting is being uptight and anal when you make your model. That's plain and simple of it. Some people are going to disagree with that one, and I know it, but that's what I'm going to call it. It's being uptight and anal when you build your model. You are shooting for the most perfect version of model blank that you can possibly make. Okay? Like I'm working on a TIE fighter, so if I was rivet counting, I would literally be trying to match the studio model to perfect detail. Okay? Now one of the problems here is this. How many studio models of a TIE fighter are there? Quite a few, actually. A lot of them got blown up. Which studio model am I going to match? The one that Han Solo blew up in the Millennium Falcon, right when he turned and looked at Luke and said, "Don't get cocky." I'm about to sneeze. Sorry, it's allergy season. Which one? There were many of them. Okay? I could pick one and start working. Now, when you do that, you are trying to match that studio model to the absolute limit. In other words, I want the model I'm building to be perfectly, exactly a match to the one I see in the photo that who took, under what lighting conditions. Okay? And this is supposed to be a perfection match. In other words, when you look at my model and you look at that one, you cannot see any differences whatsoever. That's rivet counting. That's why I call it uptight anal. And I call it uptight anal because there is no such thing as perfection. You will not match that model perfectly. You just can't. It's going to drive you insane. It's going to drive you bonkers. And your entire enjoyment of the hobby is gone. Now, more than one of you has told me I am a perfectionist, and I know this. That gremlin build was all about undoing my perfectionist habits. It still looks good. I still obsessed a little on the details, but I was also about learning how not to be that way. And in some regards, I did. I didn't put spark plug wires in it. I left a lot of mistakes unfixed because I need to learn how to do that. As Brian, Atomic Dog, has been egging me on for the last few months, get a model done. I haven't gotten a model done, and, well, I've gotten close. Brock Huey Cruiser right behind me is pretty close. I'm just waiting on some decals. I got to strip a few decals off and replace them. As soon as the decals get here, that's done. Okay. That's not such a big deal. Alright. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm talking about, though, is perfection and rivet counting. And what is rivet counting? Is it evil? Some will say yes. Some will say no. It really depends on the person. I'm going to say, in part, it's evil. And here's why. It's the rude comment factor. I am a moderator over at Scale Model Addict Forum. Some of you know this, some of you don't. And quite often someone will come in over there and say, this is the last forum I'm ever going to try. Because I posted something on Forum X, and I'm not going to say any names about any of these forums out there. Quite often the people don't actually say names of the forums they visit, which is fine with me. I don't ask. You know, whatever forum you guys want to hang out on is yours. I just hang out at Scale Model Addict because, well, no one is abusive over there. And there we go. The rude comment factor. That seems to go hand in hand with Rivet counting. You didn't use the exact color of paint used on the scale model of the TIE Fighter. You are a very horrible person, and how dare you destroy my view of that model. I mean, you just ruined it. I can never look at a TIE Fighter properly again because the color is just slightly off. Okay, well, let's talk about that. What color is a TIE Fighter? I've been paying a lot of attention to models over the years of TIE Fighters because I noticed something. The Revel Snap Kit is a very bluish gray. Okay? And I saw that and I was like, that's not what I saw on the screen. Of course, I'm thinking about A New Hope. I was not thinking about Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Jedi, depending on your orientation there, or Empire Strikes Back. I wasn't thinking about any of those. I was just thinking about what I saw on the movie screen. Okay? And in A New Hope, I don't remember that thing being blue. I remember it being light gray. And what shade of light gray? Because there's light gray, there's ghost gray, there is neutral gray. You know, that list goes on and on and on. And I can be here for a while going through that list, and I'm not going to. Then this came up too. Some of the viewers, and I'm not going to go look up names right now, you guys know who you are. Some of my viewers posted back when I started talking about colors. They were like, okay, one thing to keep in mind is the models looked very light gray in A New Hope because they overexposed the camera an awful lot. And they are bluish in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back because they didn't do that. And they were the same models, painted the same way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I actually believe that to be true, simply because when I look at the X-Wings, you know, I got really good photos of the studio model for an X-Wing, and that sucker is dirty. I consider it to be over-weathered. Well, if you overexpose it on film with some really bright lights, a lot of that weathering vanishes. So that's why it was over-weathered. And to me, it looks overdone and not good. It looks too much. Because weathering is should be subtle. It should be there and you should see it. And it should look dirty, but it shouldn't look like someone stuck it in a box of graphite dust and shook it around for a little bit. And that's what the photos of the studio scale model of the X-Wing looks like. And a lot of people try to match that. And that's because of overexposure, so I believe that one. Others have told me they just had new models in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and that's why they were blue and they were gray in A New Hope. Who really cares? I'm going to paint it the color I want to paint it. Because there is no right answer. Different TVs have different colors. Here's an example. The Tamiya directions call for light gray. This is light gray. What color is it there? What color is it here? Here, let me do this. Turn the camera a little bit. There we go. What color is it here? What color is it here? I think, yep, there we go. Autofocus is working. Color changed. Why? Different lighting in the background. Are these two colors the same? They look an awful lot the same to me. Are they the same here? No. This one's slightly bluer than this one. Okay. Digging on some forums, they said this is almost a perfect match for the paint. I'll turn it so you guys can see it. Almost a perfect match for the paint color used on the studio scale, the studio models. Almost a perfect match. Well, the light gray is so close to it, I don't really care. I bet if I paint both of these on a piece of plastic card, they're going to look exactly the same. Or so close, only someone with an art degree will know the difference. This is what I mean by rivet counting. Yes, I did the research on paint colors. Won't lie. It took about 30 minutes because someone else was already uptight and anal and posted everything. Okay? Now, I rambled. Boy, I got off subject. Well, I didn't get off subject. I got off track. Let's talk about the rivet counting part of this. How people behave. What I'm talking about here is basically this. I post on the forum that I'm going to use Tamiya Light Gray. This won't happen to Scale Model Addict. And this probably won't happen in my videos. But it might. But if I go to a certain forum I know and post that, I'm going to get like 30 comments going, you don't know what you're doing. The proper color was blank. Okay? You need to take this Tester's Model Master color and mix it with this Humbro color over here. And you have to mix them in a 13:42 ratio. And then you have to let them cure for 10 minutes first. And then paint with it and you'll get the perfect color. Who cares? Okay, that's rivet counting. The aspect of rivet counting I don't like, besides being uptight and anal, is that people use it as a gateway to hatred. And again, I was talking about this earlier. There's a lot of people who come over to Scale Model Addict as refugees from that kind of hatred. I know more than one person has told me they'd post something on a forum and someone would walk in and go, oh my, look at that tank. You missed 3 rivets on the right front and you missed 2 in the back and you're a horrible person. You've just destroyed my view of that tank for the next 45 years and I don't know what to do with you. It's just bad. You just need to die. And I'm going to go get my friends and we're going to see what they say. And 10 other people come in and post similar comments. That's rivet counting it as an extreme. Okay? This is a hobby. It is not perfection. Yes, if you go into competitions, and Dr. Cranky did get that right, you better be ready for some criticism. Constructive criticism is something very different from the abject, anal ramblings of your adult rivet counter. Okay? And I'm not a big fan of those kind of people. You know, you post on here, you know, it was silly to tape that. You know, you can strip the paint off with a Q-tip and alcohol, and it'd probably take less time. And you're right, I probably could. I couldn't rant on the video right now like I am while I work, but I probably could. And it might be less time, and I have done that very same technique. That's constructive criticism. You use polite language. You say, hey, you know, it might be better if you do this. I don't mind that. Some of you have posted that stuff on the comments of the videos. And sometimes I'll say, no, I like what I'm doing. Or I'll say, yeah, you're right. Let me try to remember that and try it in the future. Okay? I don't mind constructive criticism. It's the abject, oh, you screwed up. You cannot recover from that kind of comments. I delete hateful comments as soon as they are posted. That's one way of dealing with haters. Just delete them, gone, don't comment back, exile them. All right, everyone, I've ranted long enough on this. You can see what I've done here. I am going to go blow the dirt off this, clean it, okay? And we're going to paint them flat black, both of these panels. They have their own project box to sit in, okay? And all my paint for the TIE Fighter, minus this rattle can, and I'm going to try the rattle can tonight. Well, maybe not tonight, but all my paint goes in a Chick-fil-A salad bowl. Why? Well, you get these free when you order a salad at Chick-fil-A to go. Second, they're dishwasher safe if you put them in the top rack. They're made out of some pretty tough stuff. Yeah, I had to shake it for a while for it to come open. That's the point. I knew it would come open. But I shook it for a while. Those are Tamiya paints. They make good project boxes if you don't want to buy any. Just collect them. Especially if you know someone who eats at Chick-fil-A and gets their salads. And I know I'm not the only one person who does stuff like this. Okay? But I decided to keep all the paints in one box. And I'm probably going to start doing that with all my other projects. At the beginning, gather up all the paint, put it in a box. That way I don't have to go digging through my paint stuff to find the paints for that particular project. And then I can put them back in my paint storage later. Alright everyone, enough rambling. I'm going to get to painting. Talk to you later.